Hi everybody, it is still August 8, 2019. Arm yourself to the fucking teeth, says John McAfee, the eccentric millionaire, the anti-virus McAfee, 73 years old. He is taken to Twitter, tweeting a lot, some of it rather funny, but what he tweets, hateful words on both sides of the gun issue. Is civil war coming? If so, here's my advice to both sides. Arm yourself to the fucking teeth. If my former liberal progressive Democrat friends heard me say that I agree with John McAfee, they might just call law enforcement and throw up a red flag. Now, I'm going to go through some information to show you how radically different our country is, ending with, once again, another warning to the Trump supporters. Now, when we hear from a CNN host say that Trump supporters need to be eradicated, which means they need to be killed off because they're racist scourge, you need to take that very seriously. That guy has not been fired, that CNN didn't for 24 hours apologize to Trump supporters, the ordinary Americans who are just on a different team, who really just want what I said in the video that I posted earlier. They want a country ruled by law. They want immigration laws to be enforced. They are not racist scourge. They want their country back. You know, the way it used to operate prior to 9/11, 2001. They regard the Constitution as very important. They want the Constitution enforced. Well, guys, take very seriously what is taking place today. And I hope the information that I show you in this video will drive home or drive deeper into all of your minds that we do not live in the country that we used to live in. People are being driven mad. We're seeing crazy, insane violence take place, which can be triggered simply by Wi-Fi, cell phones. Oh, you all know the electromagnetic frequencies. But for the younger generation, this is what they are growing up watching. Where are the mentors? Where are the people with integrity? They're gone. They're gone. And what does it say to everyone, but what does it say to the younger generations that we have someone on mainstream media calling for the killing of Trump supporters? He doesn't apologize. Twitter claims that it doesn't violate hate speech. And everyone goes on as if, hey, that's like acceptable speech today. It's telling the younger generation that it is acceptable. And we've got a younger generation that, well, baby boomers don't know how to think. And those of you who leave comments saying that it's the millennials, and wow, you're not taking a look at your own generation. So, this is not, about age. Yes, with every generation, our education system became more and more very obvious indoctrination of belief. And We have pretty much obliterated critical thinking, individuality, you know, all of the stuff that's really important. We've now just, it's clear the education in this country is, they are not schools. They're simply indoctrination centers. And that goes for colleges and universities. So when we have our younger generation listening to all of these people, and even listening to these people running for the presidency, calling Trump a white supremacist, at the same time, a CNN host says, kill Trump supporters because they're racist scourge, they're white nationalists. This is the drumbeat. You keep repeating this over and over and over again, and people believe it. This country is foreign. It's not, I just feel like I'm living in a foreign country. Unfortunately, with fellow citizens who, well, they don't have the zombified face, they have zombified behavior. They don't think for themselves. They've turned off critical thinking, common sense, logic, all of it, and they're allowing these people to think for them, mainstream media to think for them, their government leaders to think for them. Which means that a whole lot on either side, they not thinking, allowing these people to think for themselves. Are we going to see more and more violence? I do believe so. It will be coming predominantly from the left towards the right, and the right will then begin to react. Not respond, react with violence towards the left. That's the show for the elite. I do believe that this is where they want it to go. So yes, especially since Trump, now Congress is going to pass the red flag law. Trump will sign it into law, and we're going to see more and more gun confiscation. We will see more and more people shooting up the red flag simply to take revenge on people they know. And suddenly, you're not going to get prior notice. You'll get the door either smashed in, you'll be brought to a psychiatric institution, your guns will be taken away. And don't think this can't happen to you. Oh, that's that invincible, the teenage invincibility that we carry on into adulthood. So many are suffering the consequences of what they thought would never happen to them. We do not live in the same country. So yes, arm yourself to the fucking teeth, because, you're not going to be able to win a war against our military, our government, the electromagnetic frequencies that, they can kill you instantly with her frequencies. But you can protect yourself against the crazy, insane, zombified Americans who are no longer thinking for themselves, who have decided that you are a racist scourge, because that's what you're now hearing an awful lot, especially when you see movies coming out, like The Hunt. And I do want to thank everybody for linking below to videos and articles, because I can't get to everything. And this came from a subscriber. The Hunt. What's The Hunt? That will be premiering September 27th. The Elite Leftist. Those who are really rich. They kidnap Trump supporters and hunt them. No joke. So I can't play this trailer because I have no doubt that I will get a copyright strike. But it's pretty intense. Very intense, in fact. And this woman is a deplorable. Oh, they're hunting the deplorables. We have a mainstream media movie coming out with the left, who are rich, hunting Trump supporters. The timing of everything, look at everything that is taking place and put it all together. They're making it acceptable to hate your fellow Americans based on political belief. And not only hate them, to kill them. They're desensitizing Americans to this type of violence in particular. And they're paving the way for the crazies to go after Trump supporters. Please take this very seriously. You know, it's funny, after every mass shooting, I saw an article today, Americans buy more guns because they get that our nation has become crazy, especially when they see headlines like this in the same day. Double stabbing in Pittsburgh. One killed, one injured. Random acts of violence. This was last night, I guess. 4 dead, 2 wounded in Southern California stabbings. Full of anger. Went on a 2-hour stabbing and robbery rampage in Southern California, killing 4 people, wounding 2 others. 33-year-old Garden Grove man was taken into custody. It doesn't matter whether this is real or just thrown in as propaganda to freak Americans out, to scare them. The fact that they actually do post these kinds of events that take place, and we know that some of them are completely false, it just means that they are leading Americans on a path towards getting really scared and more violence to come. So the violence appeared to be random, and the only known motives seemed to be robbery, hate, and homicide. Random. And Pittsburgh, random. So now, mass shooters all over the place, and people, now stabbings. Stabbings, like man stabs wife to death in front of horrified patrons in New York City salon. Americans are going violently crazy. Are they brought there due to electromagnetic frequencies? It's a possibility. But we've never lived this. It is unprecedented. And can they unleash more and more and more of random acts of violence? Yes, they can. The cell phone is a weapon. Do not think that smartphone, that iPhone, is, well, it's dangerous just because it emits no, it's a weapon. It's a weapon. And they can emit frequencies into individuals, to change them. That'll be the next video. To make them violent. When you see, it's like the hunt and this CNN host calling for the killing of Trump supporters, I want to warn every one of you. You need to be very alert regarding your surroundings. And I also, I have never been somebody to identify who I am on my car. Actually, when I was that Democrat, when I was in law school, and law school was filled with Republicans, the only bumper sticker I ever put on my car was "Friends don't let friends vote Republican," like friends don't let friends drive drunk or whatever. It was more of just a joke. But that identified me as a Democrat. If you have, look, this is where we are, and I don't want anybody hurt. So, I'm not, I'm the type that would just put a MAGA hat on, just to, in defiance of everything that's going on. That's not a very smart thing to do. So, if you have bumper stickers on your car, I would take them off. If anything identifies who you are, especially your political beliefs, I would remove any identification at this point. I can't believe that we are here and I am saying this. But we are living a very different time. And it's a very violent time. And the violence is getting worse. So, I will link below to this very good article, An Open Invitation to Tyranny. Now, the FBI document, with the FBI concluding that conspiracy theories can motivate believers to commit crimes, it is not coincidence that it came a few days before mass shootings took place. And it's not a coincidence that it's coming at a time when we hear mainstream media hosts calling for the killing of Trump supporters. All of this fits in, to the puzzle. And what we are seeing now, just in the last couple of weeks, is a madness that has, accelerated, but a madness that is so violent, unprecedented. We have never lived a time like we are living. This is a very good article, Growing Acceptance of Preemptive Arrest. And he goes through, Americans, the conspiracies related to the assassinations of JFK, RFK, MLK, we were able to discuss that and not be threatened by our fellow Americans, not be screamed at as if we were crazy. You need to be locked up, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, now we are. And please get, every president has sold us out. So Bush and Obama created the police state precedents of suspension of habeas corpus and assassination of citizens on suspicion alone without due process. Obama killed Americans. They were on his kill list. But those on the blue team, that was fine. Now we have Republicans who are actually in agreement with these red flag laws. See, you're always, these events that, well, what did this Marine say here? David Steele, a 20-year Marine Corps intelligence officer, the second highest ranking civilian in the U.S. Marine Corps intelligence, and former CIA clandestine services case officer, had this to say about those most unscrupulous operations. Most terrorists are false flag terrorists, or are created by our own security services. In the United States, every single terrorist incident we have had has been a false flag, or has been an informant pushed on by the FBI. In fact, we now have citizens taking out restraining orders against FBI informants that are trying to incite terrorism. We've become a lunatic asylum. I'm not the only one who claims now that we are living in an open air institution, a psychiatric ward. So if you remember, not too long ago, 2017, all of these articles coming out about the FBI recruiting mentally ill young men, getting them to commit acts of terrorism, supplying them with bombs, and then the FBI rush in and foil the plot that they created. Data shows the majority of these cases involve psychologically diminished patsies who've been entirely groomed, armed, and entrapped by FBI agents. Simply put, the FBI manufactures terror threats and then takes credit for stopping them. And guess what? Congress appropriated more funds to the FBI based on the FBI manufacturing these terror threats. All right. This is, we're a lying nation. We are not morally superior. We are grossly immoral, with a whole lot of Americans behaving in ways that, well, one would say is deplorable, depraved, all about themselves, all about their agenda, not truthful, not honest. So, what we have is a very sick, twisted FBI. When they come out with documents that essentially say, if you don't go along with the official explanation, which is the government explanation, if you don't go along with the prevailing explanation, which is, well, what mainstream media reports, you're a conspiracy theorist. And what does that do to free speech? When we see in the not too distant future more and more people being picked up as conspiracy theorists because they don't believe the official explanation or the prevailing explanation, and they're looking into the truth, and they get picked up, the chilling effect on free speech will be quite extraordinary. Americans will begin to shut up. You know, look at, and this is what we have recently lived. The FBI document says that conspiracy theories are usually at odds with official or prevailing explanations of events. Note the use of official and prevailing. Official explanations are government, prevailing media. Examples of official and prevailing explanations: Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction. Complete lie. Assad's use of chemical weapons. Complete lie. Iranian nukes, Russian invasion of Ukraine, 9/11. How about How about the official government explanation of the destruction of Libya? Excuse me. Sorry, I just had a choking fit. Now, I believe it is now the majority of Americans that do not believe mainstream media. And I believe that the majority of Americans do not believe what their politicians say. So the majority of Americans know they're being lied to. But those who speak out about those lies, they're branded as conspiracy theorists. Do not think your fellow Americans are going to do anything to fight for you, support you. They will remain silent, and push comes to shove, they will go after you, even though they know their government is corrupt. It lies all the time. That's where we are. When you have your fellow Americans saying nothing about mainstream media calling for the killing of Trump supporters, and the FBI, their document that says you either accept government authoritative sources, and anything outside that, you are to be monitored and maybe picked up for, well, what did you commit? You committed no crime. Preemptive crime. Could it have been based on misinterpretation? Yes. But will it stop them? No. You know, look, this is a really dangerous time we are living. It's here, okay? It's not coming, it's here. And please, do not think it won't happen to you, or your son, or your daughter. You know, this is killing off our free speech. And yeah, whatever the government says, no matter how obvious a lie, and boy, do they put out obvious lies, it'll just have to be accepted as fact. Otherwise, we'll be picked up. Wow. Okay. So, yeah. Your leaders coming out, Trump is a white supremacist, which means those who support Trump are white supremacists. I'm going to play just a few minutes of this video, but I want you all to bookmark Campus Reform and another site, College Fix. You want to see how crazy this country is? Go to Campus Reform, College Fix on a daily basis, and you will see that no, it's not just K through 12, but it's colleges and universities. They have been so infiltrated with leftist dogma, and they are creating the younger generation. It's remarkable that they can still walk and chew gum. I mean, what we have left them. Yes, yes, baby boomers. Great job. You know, it's... And I get comments from people who think that the crazy people are like the younger generations, the millennials. Have you taken a look at, well, the baby boomers? You think they're sane? Have you noticed the baby boomers staring at their phones? Have you noticed that you can't have adult conversation with baby boomers? Have you noticed baby boomers calling other people conspiracy theorists? Have you noticed that the baby boomers go with their opinion and, well, facts, evidence, obsolete. We don't care about that anymore. Baby boomers are right there as well. We're just a nation filled with crazy people, age irrelevant. All right. And they have, I believe College Fix has a YouTube channel, but Campus Reform has a YouTube channel. I'm going to play some of this video. Please, Campus Reform, do not hit me with a copyright strike. I'm promoting your channel and your site. And check it out, because the videos are very telling. We do not know how to think. We are letting other people think for other people have replaced independent thinking. And unfortunately, the younger generations, those in college today, those at universities today, well, who's doing the thinking for them? Their professors. Who did the thinking for them prior to that? Public school teachers. And then you have their leaders saying this kind of crap. These people right here that you're looking at, Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, all of these people, or Ocasio-Cortez, they are absolutely responsible for dumbing people down and inflaming hatred. But they claim the other side, who you don't really hear from much. You know, the red team. What you're hearing, it's all coming from these leftist lunatics claiming that the other side is hateful and racist and they're white supremacists, when all they want to do is just live peacefully and in the country that they had prior to 9/11, which really had corruption and lying psychopaths, but when certainly not what we have today. It's the left filled with hate that they spew, claiming the other side is hateful. Can you not see that, Americans? Democrats, you guys on the left, can you not see that all of this, these calls for violence, the hatred is coming from the blue team? But people are so indoctrinated that when you, well, listen to this.
I'm Kevin Phillips with Campus Reform. Today we're going to be asking students for their opinion on the policy of deporting people that are illegally here and have broken the law. We're going to be reading them a quote in support of that policy, but what they don't know is the quote is actually President Obama's from 2014. Will that change their opinion? Let's find out. Donald Trump announced this past week that he would be urging ICE and other administration authorities to seek out people living here illegally that have broken the law, to deport them. I have a quote for you here that's been making the rounds on social media about the deportation of criminal illegal aliens. We are a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our laws, and I believe they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous. That's why over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%, and we're going to keep focusing on threats to our security. What's your thought on that quote and that policy in general?
I think that policy comes from a place of like white American nationalism. Donald Trump has kind of like embraced this rhetoric of like racism and xenophobia that is not beneficial to our country at all.
I don't think that quote really stands true.
This administration has totally not done anything moral.
This is really awful.
Amnesty does not necessarily mean that we're losing border security. I think that Trump feels that way.
I think that's a bad decision because like the United States should be open to like immigrants. Like it's like they call it land of the free for a reason.
We just have to advocate for those kind of people. And people like in Congress, like Ocasio-Cortez, who is helping people overcome these kinds of things.
Crimes do not nullify your humanity, and people are coming here in search of opportunity.
I'm going to show you the person that said that quote. Is that surprising?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why is that surprising?
Because I thought it was the Trump administration that said something like that.
Yeah, it's quite surprising. I thought it was from Trump.
I didn't expect it to be Obama either.
Why did you not expect it to be Obama?
Because I guess, I don't know, like, it never occurred to me that it could be Obama.
Is that surprising that it's a quote from President
Yeah,
Obama?
that was surprising for sure. Yeah.
Do you think it's still a practice of white nationalism, though, to deport criminal illegal aliens?
I think the way Trump's doing it is.
This woman is scary. The way Trump is doing it, it is. But she just heard that those words were spoken by Obama. That's the kind of thinking that's all about this woman. She doesn't want to be wrong. She can't be fooled. And she's got serious cognitive deficits in her brain that she can listen to those words that are attributed to Obama, just like those words attributed to Biden, Bill, and Hillary Clinton, but they changed their tune because we live not just in a nation of liars, hypocrites. This country is filled with hypocrites. And this country is filled with people who do not care about anything but their own success, their own agendas, their own monetary, financial success. They are sellouts, and they'll change their tune from, just a few short years ago. Well, now suddenly Biden is saying, well, yeah, Trump has said essentially everything that all of those Democrats have said. The Clintons, Obama, Biden. But now he's a white nationalist, a supremacist. But they weren't. Oh, well, we have just, flipped sides. And now, do you see what's happening here? You cannot believe anything that these people say. Not a word. Because they're all about themselves. And they're all about an agenda. They're not about principle. They're not about this country. They don't care about you. But the younger generations are like still listening to these people as if they're speaking the truth.
But President Obama, to this point in Trump's presidency, Obama actually deported more people, though. So it's in practice, it was more from Obama, though.
What's your question?
See? She can't even respond to that. Because, it's only Trump. She won't take in that Obama was just like Trump. So what's your question? But I'm sure she thinks she's really smart.
I'd say my understanding of Obama versus Trump is that Obama was more liberal as far as amnesty and border security. I expected that quote to come from Trump.
I mean, it just shows the hypocrisy in politics. So one person can say something 5 years ago, and next thing you know, it doesn't apply to them anymore, and that they can now be the morality police for whoever is in charge now.
Oh my God! A young man who knows how to think. There you go. Unfortunately, he's in the minority. I have subscribers who have talked to me about their quote-unquote awake children. And many of them are in college or at university, and they are some very depressed. They can't find friends. They can't find their peers that they can relate to. This young man knows how to think. Yeah, I will link below to everything. We are living, and we are seeing every single day, a time that now we really need to be paying attention for our own safety. And yes, we do need to be strengthening our support systems here because we don't have a support system in real life. So we really need to do, what's necessary to make this community stronger. And in the next 6 months, it's going to be very telling what is going to be happening. Trump supporters, I really do think that you need to be careful. Really take a look at what this guy is doing. By the way, this is what Trump thinks about you.
People are so great. Anyway, George, when did you know you liked campaigning? Thank you. Yeah, the beast is something. I mean, these people are so incredible. Look, they're crying. They're so cute.
They're so cute. They're crying, and he laughs. They're so cute. The elite, the billionaires, they don't care about you or me or ordinary Americans. They have an agenda. They're getting the job done. Trump, they're so cute. Like you're his pet. You're his pet. You're cattle. You're nothing to them. So everything that you are watching, it's all staged. You're cute. Do you know how degrading that is? You're so not an equal to these people. And do not think that this guy is going to be protecting you because he's selling you out. Everything is linked to below. Wow. Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe.